I know I really don't have to define nostalgia. I feel like the word dopamine, it's become a common buzzword that has been used so often in the last couple of years. But for the sake of this video, Webster's dictionary defines nostalgia as a wistful or excessively sentimental yearning for the return to or of some past period of irrecoverable condition. To be taken back to a simpler time through a song or a smell or a video, a bittersweet feeling, remembering the quote-unquote good times that you were in, while in the present is a very stark contrast. Now, it used to be more of a random occurrence. You couldn't really predict or plan when you'd feel this longing for the past, and that is, of course, because the World Wide Web kicked in all of our front doors and invited itself into our everyday existence to the point where we need it constantly. Now, with the internet, as I did at the beginning of this video, I can simply search up nostalgia and be hit with a wave of comforting memories and emotions. But is it of the same value as if it hit us randomly? The sentimentality for the past has never been so accessible, and I think this brings up some really interesting dilemmas. If I want to keep in touch with friends that have moved abroad, their Instagram account gives me an insight on how their life is going, or, at least the good parts. But as for now, nostalgia. Nostalgia is a very powerful emotion that, just like any other, can be accessed through a search on YouTube, and normally this is no big deal. Like, who cares if you want to look at some old popular MMOs videos to feel like you're 10 again? But in some cases, I think this addiction to nostalgia can kind of be problematic.
Lift other people up. That's one of my little pet peeves. I thought I'd just stick that in there. So yeah, I've been doing it for a really, really long time, and it's got to the point now where a lot of the people watching my videos, and it's not everyone, are kind of coming back for like a nostalgia fix. And the idea of being like a vessel for nostalgia isn't very appealing. I don't have any interest like in doing that for like the rest of my life. Like, I don't want my career to be like looking backwards at like, hey, do you remember that, and repackaging and kind of just reminiscing on those old times.
Growing up, I'm sure, like so many others in my generation, I was huge into Minecraft, and I still am. And it was like playing with action figures and creating a story. These possibilities were actually endless, and a huge YouTuber that I used to watch upon finding out Minecraft was even a thing on YouTube was Stampy Longhead. And recently he had decided to end his Lovely World playthrough series after well over a decade of making weekly episodes. Now, while he hasn't stopped making videos and for the most part continued the same type of content, a lot of us grew up and grew out of it. And while he kept a nice amount of weekly watchers, I feel that a majority of his views came from people coming back to his channel and videos to get that fix of nostalgia. If you look at any of his comments on literally any of his videos, let alone his last video, there are countless praises by people of his impact on them when they were younger. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but when viewers view a creator as if they're stuck in time, oh, I used to love your videos, oh, I used to, you used to be my favorite YouTuber, it could be a bit conflicting for the person that owns the channel. As you heard in the clip I played, he states that the idea of being a vessel for nostalgia isn't very appealing. I'm certain that he loves the outpouring of older fans that like to pop in to check on him like a high school student returning to their favorite elementary teacher, but at the end of the day, his life, my life, all of our lives needs to continue from the past. And I'm going to go ahead and link Stampy's Why I Ended My Lovely World video in the description if you haven't seen it yet. It's very interesting to see his perspective on becoming this sort of nostalgic icon for Gen Z, so it's going to be down there. And something else he touches upon in the video is how an overindulgence of nostalgia can go from problematic to toxic through comparisons. It is very much a human trait to look back on things such as media, art, music, and TV shows and believe that the ones you consume growing up are way better than anything that these younger kids are experiencing. Now, I think it's very much a part of growing, regardless if it's true or not. But this current trend of being like, oh, this YouTuber I grew up with is way better than all you new guys, Dan TDM is way better than Dream, and all this shit. A lot of factors play into things like this. Like, for example, if I was 10 years old as of 2023, I would 100% throw a tantrum in the middle of a Walmart over a case of Prime, or use the word Riz unironically. Like, we have all had our young cringy times. That's kind of how we were with Vine, where we had a lot of just videos that we would quote, and by now standards, like as we look back at it older, we're like, oh, that's kind of,
What's 9 plus 10?
21?
You stupid.
Bringing creators who still create videos into these trends is kind of scummy. I don't know. YouTube has changed, and it's about as obvious as day and night. Things like YouTube Shorts and emphasis on shorter content when previously longer form content was pushed has forced creators to evolve. This new wave of YouTubers is simply a subject of the 2020s. Let alone, I can't even imagine how the creator is going to be in 2030. But yeah, this tangent has gone on for long enough. As we get older, we are reminded nearly daily that the past is something that we will never be able to relive again. That's why you feel so estranged from the games you played all those years ago, as well as the shows you grew up watching. They all, regardless of how much they affected you, had an enormous impact on the person you are today. They were just stepping stones. And the fact that a Minecraft song brings you back to the times when you would rush home to play a world with your friends means you've grown. Things won't be the same, but I say look at it as a good thing. I'm sure down the line, you'll be struck by the nostalgia of how your life is right now. And it's not at all by a long shot a bad thing to get that little kick of nostalgia here and there, watch a little Stampy video here and there, feel old a little bit, but keep in mind that you've got a lot of memories to make. So, get to making.